My name is Chicka Chicka Slim Shady.
Yo, what up, Pride? It's your boy Jacob, aka J Boogie, and I'm here with
Matt, aka Carrot Top, Mr. Charles C. Bands,
Toby, no name. Hey, and we're here with the four-headed go. We're about to give you the most fire debates on hot topics in the Springfield College community. Let's get right into it. Yo, it's J Boogie, and today I'm gonna be arguing why this is an abomination. Freshmen should never have cars on campus unless they have an exception. And we'll get into that. Peace. All right. This is
Timmy? Yeah, and you are?
I'm Jacob. One of the four heads of the Four-Headed Go podcast.
All right, and what is your position right now?
So today we're going to be debating, you see the sign right here, is should or should not, should or shouldn't freshmen have cars on campus? I say, obviously, by the sign, they should not.
All right, and I think that they should.
Would you like to start off with your argument?
I think that if the college campus can find sufficient parking, and especially for freshmen who need to have cars for work, and I understand this is already a policy, but I think that the terms should be loosened so more freshmen can have cars. You have to understand that in this campus, there's everything you need here. However, it is very helpful to have a vehicle to be able to go to the store and go outside resources and stuff. So for that reason, I think that's sufficient enough for freshmen to have cars. If there's not enough spaces, I think that upperclassmen should have priority, but if there are enough spaces, freshmen can.
Okay.
What do you think?
When you say loosening policies,
Right.
could you explain what policies you want loosened in what way?
Right now, as I understand it, the college does not allow freshmen to have cars on campus unless they're able to document that they commute to work, and I don't know all the guidelines. And I think that, like I said, I think my position is that freshmen should be able to have cars, and if the problem is insufficient spaces, first of all, working towards getting more parking, and second of all, we can instead give priority to upperclassmen, but if there still are enough spots, we can allow freshmen to have it. I don't know how you would choose which freshmen to have it. That's not up to me, but that's my idea.
Okay. I first off want to start off by saying that I don't disagree with how things are right now in terms of people who have jobs and need to commute to jobs, and people who have, for example, I live next to a kid in Reed Hall that is part of the ROTC, and he needs to commute to UMass Amherst, their campus, to take care of things for ROTC, and therefore he has a car on campus. I don't disagree with that. I'm saying the entire population of freshmen on campus, they shouldn't be able to have cars.
If they don't have sufficient reason, like a job,
yes,
then they shouldn't have cars.
Because not everyone does. Most people, if they do have jobs, are on campus.
Why do you think that?
What do you mean? Why do I think
Why
that?
do you think that if they don't have sufficient reason to have the car, they shouldn't have the privilege of having the car? Why should they not have that privilege?
Well, there's a few reasons, and I'll talk about the point that you brought up about parking. The most obvious one is I know people who are sophomores, and even the people that I know who are freshmen that have cars on campus, they already struggle to find spaces for parking. And I hear all the time about people complaining about getting parking tickets all the time, like $25 parking tickets after parking ticket. And the obvious solution to that would be more parking spaces in other parking lot, which in turn, obviously, that labor to create that, or make that possible cost money. And no one likes when the tuition goes up, even though it already is going up. But that's more onto the tuition. And another part is it's so NSO.
Yes.
I'll give this as an example. Do you know what the main purpose or one of the main purposes of NSO is?
As I understand it, it's orientation to get students acquainted with the people who are in their class and the campus as a whole.
Right. And that's pretty much it. That is the main idea of it. And basically, it's the same idea with cars on campus. So the point of NSO is to make sure that when students first get there, that they're not just staying in their rooms. They're not disconnected with the community that Springfield College is trying to create. So they're making all these activities and different events going on in the beginning to keep people there. And if freshmen have the ability, they're brand new to this environment, and meeting new people and talking to new people is, I don't care who you are, it's intimidating and it's scary.
Right.
And if you have the option to just hop in a car and go somewhere else, and not,
What is this? Freshmen have cars?
they should not.
So you just argue with people?
I'm arguing, yeah, it's an open discussion. Anyone can come in and debate if you disagree with what the sign says. Yeah, thank you. Anyways, what I was saying is, it's hurtful to the community, and I think that is something that Springfield College values a lot, is its community and trying to get people involved with things on campus and, creating a tight-knit bond. We're a small school, and making friends not only that first week of school, like I've made friends like in the past month that I wasn't friends with in the beginning of school. And it's important to keep people on campus and involved, especially in their first year of school. That's the most important, because being disconnected from the general population and not having friends is detrimental to someone's mental health, potentially.
Right. Here's where I disagree with that.
Okay.
In NSO, do people already have the choice to participate or not?
No.
They don't have the choice to participate? As I remember it, if you do not, it's all purely choice. My NSO leader told all of us, if you ever want to stay in your room, rest, not go. You're not obligated by the school to participate.
Right, but it's very highly encouraged.
Highly encouraged, yes. Mandatory, no.
But there's a reason why it's highly encouraged.
Yeah.
For
Now
the reason
my argument is if people aren't already obligated to go and they can stay in their rooms if they wish, why is that any different than why would taking the cars away make them more likely to go if the conditions are the same, essentially? They can still choose to not go to NSO, drive their cars, whatever. But do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do see what you're saying.
Right. It's already not a mandatory activity,
right.
Although it's important, and I think that I agree that it's a really good thing that the college has. It certainly isn't going to be the make or break of if you don't go to NSO, we're no longer going to accept your tuition money and you're going to get kicked out of here.
Yeah.
Right. So, again, I think it goes back to it being a privilege that shouldn't be taken away.
Yeah, and I'm not trying to say that, we have to ground people in,
right.
At school and they have no freedom at all.
Yeah.
I'm just making the point that
it's beneficial.
It actually is very beneficial
yes.
for
I agree.
the kids to be acclimated with everyone involved on campus be more aware of the space that they're living in and the different, resources and opportunities they'll have
Right.
their 4 years.
I think that's a good point. A lot of good points.
Another point I'd like to touch on is I actually think, freshman year is a very important year academically, setting you up for your future. It's all about, starting out strong and starting out with a good GPA, especially if, you're trying to get into a certain program or
Right.
whatnot. And it's actually proven to lower GPAs at schools that have the ability for freshmen to have cars on campus, because this is like the first time when you're a freshman and you're away from school.
Right.
This is the first time that you can do what you want, and nobody besides obviously law enforcement. Like, no one can tell you no. Like, no one can tell you
Right.
you have to do this, you have to stay in your room and do this.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's giving them the ability to just be like, oh, I don't want to be at school and do my homework. I'd rather be at X, Y, and Z.
It's a much more autonomous point of view. So, you think that if freshmen have more choice to leave campus more often as they wish, it will impact their grades and impact them socially?
Yes.
All right, I think those are good points too. I still think that they're not good enough reasons to take away the privilege of having a car if having a car is an available option, but I never thought of those points
Okay.
before, so I think that's good.
So, and then my last point pretty much would be bringing up. So what year are you?
I'm a senior.
You're a senior. Okay.
You are
I'm a first year student.
freshman.
Yes.
Okay.
So, how about your high school experience? Do you feel like it was a big difference adjusting to things like party? Did you do any of that in high school, and was it like a big jump? Like, was it a new thing when you got to college?
Yeah, the college experience is much different than my high school experience.
For sure.
Certainly.
It comes with peer pressure, and that's prominent. And going to these college parties, the freshmen, like I said before, it's the first time they're away from the normal parental authority, and they have the choice to, party and do what they want, and then not really have any repercussions unless, obviously, law enforcement. Alcohol and cars and people who are new to alcohol and are not very responsible is not a very good mix at all, and it is
Right.
potentially fatal. About 2,000 college students a year die from car accidents involving alcohol abuse, as well with 12,000 who are injured and hospitalized due to motor vehicle accidents involving alcohol consumption. And I think that, yes, you can make the argument that, well, sophomore and up, they have cars on campus and they can drink and drive. I'm just stating the fact that freshmen are more susceptible to do that because they're so young,
Yeah.
and they're
Acclimating to a
they're just
different lifestyle
acclimating
that
to
they might not be used to.
this freedom that they've never had before, and mixing that with
Right.
alcohol.
So it might be safer to take away cars as freshmen have more choice to drink or party or not, whatever. They have more choices, and they might not be used to what that's like.
Right.
Making a responsible choice.
Yes.
Because of that, I would be interested to see what degree of a difference. I mean, you don't have to know, obviously, the statistics. What degree of a difference it makes like how many of these car accidents are freshmen who are drunk? How
Right.
many of these car accidents are from, driving under the influence, versus upperclassmen? I think that I suspect that it is probably freshmen who are more susceptible
Yeah.
to it because of the reasoning, but I don't know that for sure, so that would be something to look into
Yeah.
to build
sure.
that argument further, because I agree with it so far, but having like some
No, yeah, definitely.
statistic would make me feel
Persuade.
me more, right?
For that.
Yeah, right.
But I think that's pretty much it.
All right.
That's all I have.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good argument.
Of course, it's always a pleasure. Timmy.
Yes, and you are again
Jacob.
Great.
And that's all for this episode. Thank you for listening and watching. All right. This is the Four-Headed Go podcast. And we're back with another debate. And today, we're here with
Ryan Garrity.
a.k.a. The Munch. And I'm Jacob Shuck, of course, part of the Four-Headed Go podcast. And you see the sign here? Debate number 2 of why freshmen should not have cars on campus. He's going to try and disagree with me and tell me why they should have cars on campus. And I'm going to annihilate him. All right, would you like to begin?
Sure. So, personally, I don't have a car on campus, but I'm just going to come at this from any freshman's perspective. So, I feel like if I did have a car, it would make going around, if I'm bored, having to pick something up very easy. Wouldn't have to rely on upperclassmen, which I know very few of, to actually get me around. So it would be more of a convenience thing, as well as potentially having the ability to go home on the weekends if I need to. It is it's a privilege to have a car, and I feel like anybody on the campus should have it, and it shouldn't be exclusively for upperclassmen.
Okay. You said you have to ask upperclassmen to bring you places. What exactly are those places that you need to go to?
So mainly for me is going to places like Target, places where I can get food, restock up on toiletries, all that stuff, since I'm pretty sure there aren't any places on campus that can sell like shampoo and all that other stuff. So if I haven't gone home in a little bit, it would be nice to have that ability to go off campus and get a few things that I'm either missing or ran out of. So.
Okay, that's a good point. And you say having the ability to go home. So, where do you live, if you don't mind me asking?
I live in Berlin, Connecticut.
Okay, so you're about 15, 20 minutes away from where I live.
Yeah.
Roughly. I go home pretty often on the weekends. I get picked up by my parents. You know, they obviously have cars. I'm not going to make any assumptions about you or your family if they have cars.
Yeah.
But I'm assuming they have some sort of transportation to get you to and from school.
Yeah, they would have the ability to, yeah.
Okay. So I don't think that is a really big driving factor in wanting to give freshmen cars, because there are a lot of downsides to having cars on campus.
Yeah.
And that I think there are many ways to work around the ability to get to and from school. And I understand what you're saying about getting toiletries and necessities that sometimes you can't get here at the school.
Yeah.
Which I think they should have more availability in terms of that. And that's something the school should work on. But there are ways to work around that. There is something called Instacart, where you can go on and you can have these orders that these people will go to the store, even the grocery store, pick you up groceries if you need, more food in your dorm. You need specific things, like you said, toothpaste, shampoo, conditioner, don't know if you use conditioning. I don't know. I feel like that's
Yeah.
depends on the person that you're asking.
Personal question.
But
Yeah.
yeah, so things like that, toiletries.
Yeah.
So yeah, while they are good points, I think there are ways to work around that because I believe that having a car on campus causes problems,
Okay.
or it could potentially cause problems, and I think that we're making the right decision here at Springfield by not allowing freshmen to have cars on campus.
Okay. Yeah. One other point that I have is, so I understand the problems that could happen with parking in terms of places like International or Gulick, where upperclassmen need to park there if they're living at like Inty or at Abbey, places like that. But there are some parking lots on campus. One that I'm thinking of is the one near public safety, where you can get some sort of pass where you can keep your car there, and it is typically pretty vacant a majority of the time, aside from maybe a few rows of cars. So I feel like there is plenty of parking on campus, and I just feel like it really shouldn't be a problem if freshmen park on campus, considering there still is some room for cars to be parked. So.
Okay. That's a good point, but I disagree. I think that it would be an issue because while there are exceptions to some freshmen having cars, whether it's commute to work or, my friend Tyler, he has to commute to another school because he's part of the ROTC. So he has to go there. That's why he has his car. He got his car approved. If you have certain obligations, you can get your car approved to be on campus. Those freshmen that I've talked to, I know 2 people that they complain all the time about parking and the availability. And those are just a small fraction of the entire freshman population that's on campus. And I understand that not every freshman will have a car or have the ability to have a car on campus. But I just don't think that we have the capacity to fill up those spots.
Okay.
Because there's already, times that they run out of space and they don't know where to park and they park somewhere else and they end up getting fined. They get a ticket.
Yeah.
$25. I think my friend Tyler has gotten at least 2 or 3 of them. So
Yeah. Okay. I do have one question I want to ask you. So you've brought up some really good points, and this is it has to do with parking, but not really this topic. Do you think it would be smart for Springfield College to invest in more parking and potentially have the ability to have freshmen park if there is more parking? Or do you think they should just keep the parking situation the same that it is right now?
I think that if they do expand, they should only expand a small amount.
Okay.
That won't be a large investment for the college to create more space. And it's not only because of money. It costs money to do these things. You have to pay people to do it. And you have to have actually the area to do it, which I look around campus and I don't really see that much open space to do so as it is.
Yeah.
And, when it costs money to build stuff and make new things, it goes on to the students here at Springfield College. It comes out of their pockets potentially in heightened tuition. And I feel like any college or institution is going to jump at any opportunity there is to take money out of our pockets. It's just the way it is.
Yeah.
And I don't just disagree because of that. There's other reasons why I think it's not worth it for them to spend their time creating more parking spaces and spending their time and money. I think there's other places like our living halls that they should spend their money to improve on, instead of creating more parking spaces for freshmen to have cars on campus. I don't really see how that's worth the time and money.
Okay. that's pretty much all that I had to talk about for this.
Okay.
So
All right.
you are a very good argumenter.
Thank
That
you.
makes any sense. But
And thank you for coming out,
no problem.
Mr. Ryan Garrity. This has been another episode of Springfield College Change My Mind with the Four-Headed Goat. Thank you. See you in the next one.
Hey, look, the feds got me. But thank you for watching Four-Headed Goat. See you in the next one.
Fucking goat outside.
It's just a goat.
No, it's a fucking goat.
Hold up, take a moment and count my guap, count my guap.